Conservative Party manifesto 2019. We will bring in a fair and compassionate immigration policy. That is not what we have. My name's Mike Cashman. For more videos like this on the channel, Britannia Waives the Rules, please subscribe if you would like to see more. So those are the words lifted directly from the Conservative Party manifesto, a fair and compassionate immigration policy. Now, if you're going to argue for Brexit, I can see that in principle you might make the case that the UK could have a more appropriate immigration policy for the UK than that which is effectively mandated or mandated partly by being in the EU. Yeah, you can make that argument if that's what the government had actually done. It hasn't. The immigration policy has been disastrous for the UK. But let's look specifically at this at fair and compassionate in the light of this policy of having a deterrent of sending immigrants to Rwanda. So we know that it's been described as being a deterrent. So in other words, this is something that the immigrants to the UK, asylum seekers, would not want. So it's a punishment. But let's just look at how it will be applied. So there's been talk from the Go Home Office of rules will be applied on a case-by-case basis. This is a way of avoiding telling us what the policy is. Look, if you have a series of Home Office officials dealing with asylum seekers, people who are claiming asylum, you can't simply say to them all, go and deal with these people using your own best judgment. You will be giving them rules to follow. Those rules may not be publicised, but they will be there. So let me just give you two cases to consider. Man from northern Nigeria, a Christian man who has escaped conflict there and is seeking asylum in Britain to join relatives already in Britain, and an Iraqi Kurd, Sunni Muslim, who also has family in Britain and is seeking asylum in Britain. Now, what are you going to do with these people? If you were to send them both to Rwanda, and there was early talk of this was for processing. It's not for processing. It's actually transporting them. Yeah, it's what we used to do with criminals. We transported them to Australia. Except in this case, the people concerned are not criminals. But anyway, we're transporting them to Rwanda. Now, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be disruptive, but for the Nigerian Christian man in an largely English-speaking Christian country, I think he might find that was not as difficult for him as the Iraqi Kurd. So, in other words, if we transport both those people to Rwanda, then this punishment, it is intended as a punishment, though there's no crime being committed. This is a much greater punishment for the Iraqi Kurd, who will find himself in a much more unfamiliar environment than for the Nigerian. So, how will those rules be applied? Will they be applied differentially in those two cases? Would we just send the Nigerian to Rwanda and not the Iraqi? In other words, is the hidden rule that we can't get to see one that says, send the blacks to Rwanda? I'm not suggesting that. I'm just asking what the rule would be, because if that's the rule, that is deeply racist. And so you may say, well, Mike, you're saying that, neither way of operating provides a fair way of transporting people to Rwanda. Dead right. There is not a fair way of transporting asylum seekers, people who are seeking asylum in Britain, to Rwanda, and we shouldn't be doing it. And it's impossible to have a fair and compassionate immigration policy that acts in that way. I'm not criticising Rwanda. Rwanda's in many ways a great country. I've enjoyed being there. But it is not right for the UK to transport people to Rwanda. I'm Mike Cashman. Those are my views. Please feel free to add your own. do subscribe to the channel. Britannia Waves the Rules. Thank you.